On February 22nd this year, InternetAjay announced on Twitter that he would be retiring in the coming spring. He found himself a full-time job he wanted to focus all his attention on. And unless something suddenly changes, it's safe to assume that this is the end for him. But how did we get here? In today's video, we'll be discussing how InternetAjay rose in popularity and how he slowly began falling into obscurity. Make sure to stick around to figure out what went wrong for this online commentator. Ajay's first video was The Rise and Fall of Lonely Girl 15, a video genre that would define him and his channel. He went through the history of the old YouTube channel Lonely Girl 15, going over how it changed over the years and eventually declined. After this, he tried making different videos on things like 4chan and Reddit, but soon went right back to rise and fall videos for good. From here, he would steadily grow in viewership, peaking between the months February to August in 2021. Some videos would reach 1 million views, but most still got view counts above 500,000. He even managed to collab with similar content creators like Wang and Wavy Web Surf. After this period, though, things began to die down for Ajay. His rise in popularity began to slow, with his videos having their view counts hovering around 200,000 to 600,000. This was to be expected, as his subscriber count never rose along with the initial spike in views. But if this was all there was to the story, we wouldn't be making this video, would we? No, there was more going on with Ajay. His videos weren't the only content he was trying to make, and it was more than just a lack of subscribers that kept his viewership down. His frankly cringy Twitch channel and Twitter account shot any chance he had of growing further than where he was at. So let's take a dive into the other sides of InternetAjay and see what caused his eventual decline. Ajay used to host a dating show called The Love Guru on his Twitch channel, which is now unfortunately lost. But while the Twitch VODs are gone, there are still some videos out there that feature moments from his old streams. In short, he would pay for girls on sites like ePal to join his Discord calls and have guys come on and try to hit on them. It really didn't do well and eventually went off the air. While the channel itself never had any drama or discourse surrounding it, the show was largely unsuccessful and did not do Ajay's YouTube channel any favors. However, he has also said some choice words about the topic of women on the channel. A particular quote that got passed around often was that out of all women, white women are the most loose.
White women were the most loose. I feel like that's not a bad thing.
It's unclear if he spoke about this topic often or not on Twitch, but he has talked about women at length on his Twitter, and that leads us right into our next main point. InternetAjay often tweets about how much he wants to get with women. It's that simple, and just as desperate as it sounds. One day he could feel on top of the world, confident that a woman will just fall into his lap, figuratively and literally. The next day he's down on his knees, pitying himself over how ugly he is. At best, they are awkward to see. At worst, they turn away possible viewers if this is their first impression of him. The absolute worst one was when he tweeted, word for word, "And boy, do I love me a good hate fuck." There really are no words to describe how weird it is to see this on your timeline one day. It's almost funny, seeing just how open he is about these kinds of things. One thing's for sure though, this did not help his videos out at all. He would often be made fun of for this, and the tweet would live on in meme status for a short while. His embarrassing tweets about his struggle to get a girlfriend is not the only revealing thing about Ajay. Just as embarrassingly, the man is quite sensitive to any remark made at him. While no one likes being randomly insulted, especially in vulnerable moments, this is just something one has to consider when joining the public space as a content creator. This goes for double when your content leans more into the dramatic, negative side of the platform. Channels that document the failures of someone's career and every bad thing they've ever done will attract people who will be unafraid to insult you for anything. You have to be prepared for this kind of thing, and prepared Ajay was not. Anytime Ajay was insulted, he took it personally. An example of this was when he lost $25,000 trying to invest in cryptocurrencies. In a now deleted twit longer, he recounts how he placed the money into a scam wallet called Moon Wallet. When he tried to withdraw this money, he found that it had all been taken out from the Moon Wallet account. He suspects the likely culprit of the Moon wallet developers themselves, since the app apparently took 3 days to download and likely scanned his phone for the security info to take his money with. In the replies to this tweet, Keemstar said, "Rise and fall of your bank account, clown." In response, Ajay attempted to call Keem out by saying he was bullying a creator 1/50th of your size. We're not saying it's wrong to defend yourself when someone is making fun of you, especially after posting something that makes you feel vulnerable. But when your main line of content is documenting the failures of other content creators, you are setting yourself up for these types of situations. This is especially true if the one making fun of you is someone you previously documented on your channel. If you're going to make a living off of other people's failures, you cannot be so sensitive. Alongside all of this, InternetAjay was beginning to have his content criticized by more and more people. While any YouTuber is going to have their videos under a magnifying glass, most people won't really see anything wrong with their content. But Ajay was starting to be judged for his laziness when it came to research, as well as baiting people with false titles. To put it simply, Ajay's videos were nothing more than summaries on content creators and their careers. There was no in-depth analysis, no criticisms of his own, just summaries of how content creators rose and fell out of public opinion. And even then, the research in his videos were often said to be poorly done by those familiar with the individual or group covered. Take his video on Keemstar, for example, which used to be titled The Rise and Fall of Keemstar, but was changed to The Decline of Keemstar's Reputation due to backlash against the inaccuracy of the original title. In it, he incorrectly claims Keem was one of the few people to survive a content cop, a video series hosted by iDubbbz. People like the Fine Bros and Jake Paul were covered as well, but they are still going strong to this day. Additionally, Ajay mentions how Keem's reputation was tarnished for millions to see. Yet before and even after the video, people already knew of what kind of man Keem was. Yet that never got in the way of his continued success, making the point kind of pointless. And on top of it all, Keemstar was never declining by the time the video was released, as he would not yet retire from YouTube until a year later. This is just one video of Ajay's that lacks proper research. His videos are mostly summaries with mild exaggeration, such as the one he made on Dream. He hadn't even fallen yet, and still has yet to truly fall by the time the video was made. He had been involved in a few cases of drama, such as when he had cheated in a Minecraft speedrun, but that was about it. Ajay was just trying to cash in on Dream's drama when he was trending, attempting to prey on the Minecraft YouTuber's downfall. Ajay has also blatantly copied other YouTubers' thumbnails and titles, alongside his uninspired summary scripts he writes for them. In a clip of a video by Turkey Tom, it's clearly seen that Ajay had nearly identical copies of thumbnails by popular content creators SunnyV2 and Patrick CC. There is virtually no difference between the two, making it very clear that Ajay was copying other channels for his videos. He would later change the thumbnails and titles back to his original style, but the proof of copying had already been posted on the internet by then. He acknowledged the blatant copies and apologized publicly on Twitter for it. There have been multiple callout videos made on InternetAjay, all after his initial fame and during his decline. Turkey Tom, Grimsy, and Internet Anarchist have all made videos on Ajay and his actions. They all discuss the previous points made in this video: lazy content, sensitive tweets, and all-around embarrassing behavior. While the first two are much harsher and just make fun of the guy, Anarchist at least says that Ajay is not a bad person. The most impactful of these was Turkey Tom, who made his videos on his side account TomDark. And while the total views only amounted to 277,000, that was more than enough to hit a channel with only 337,000 subscribers. Tom would consistently make videos bashing Ajay for his embarrassing posts, lazy videos, and poor financial decisions with the crypto scam. In total, Tom made 5 videos on the guy. It definitely hit Ajay's channel where it hurt, as Tom was more often right with his criticisms than not. While Tom may have not killed Ajay's channel or anything, it definitely hurt Ajay in the long run. Cycling back to the retirement post, Ajay will no longer be making videos in the coming spring. The main reason for this was him wanting to focus on his new full-time job, but there may be more at play. While he's never stated this for a fact, the stress caused by his channel might be just as much of a reason for his retirement as his new job. If we've learned anything about Ajay, it's that he's a very sensitive man. This is nothing for him to be ashamed of, but it's something to keep in mind with future endeavors. If he can't handle criticism or the harsh landscape of certain video genres, then he's not cut out to continue making content with them. If he can learn to harden his mentality, not get shaken by insults, and make well thought out videos, then we may see the return of InternetAjay in the future. For now though, it's safe to assume this is truly the fall of his channel, and with it, he will fall into obscurity. But maybe that's for the best. He can have his privacy back, and he'll no longer face insults and criticism everywhere he goes. We can only hope Ajay will have more confidence in himself, and maybe no longer being a content creator will give him the ability to do so.